So, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Force Discourse, your show for book discussion, character studies, and exploration into the Star Wars galaxy.
This was a lot of fun. I need more than I thought I would. Oh, goodness.
So, second awesome, amazing news. If you guys follow us on the Twitter, and I certainly hope you do, Devin posted the big announcement earlier that we welcomed 3 amazing women to the Unmistakably Star Wars team. And that is Meg Cullinan, Regina Sanders, and Ashley Wilson. We are so incredibly stoked to have you on board.
Yes.
And cannot wait to see all the amazing things that come from that. So, yay!
Hey, as always, we like to take a little bit of time each and every week, not only to thank our patrons, but I want to first off echo what Eve said. We are so excited to have Regina and Meg and Ashley join us. Ashley, of course, is a former student of Jeremy and myself, and one of the most fantastic young women that have ever come through my classroom, that's for sure. And so we're very excited. I know, Jeremy, she's going to be working with you on a future episode of Force Discourse. She's going to be doing some blog articles. And then Meg and Regina are going to be joining us on some special series we got cooking up behind the scenes as well.
As you can probably guess from those flashbacks, I'm a part of Unmistakably Star Wars. I'm a team member on the Unmistakably Star Wars crew. So it's crazy that I'm even a part of a podcast. It's crazy that I'm a part of this podcast. And it's crazy that I'm on a Star Wars podcast. If you would have told me this 10 years ago or something like that, I would have not believed you, because 10 years ago I was not a fan. But it still kind of blows me away that I'm a part of this amazing team. And for those who are wondering, yes, I am a Star Wars fan. I've been a Star Wars fan since senior year of high school. At the moment that I'm filming this video, 2 out of the 3 podcasts that I've recorded with them have been released. So I'm going to do a little reaction so you guys can get a little sneak peek of the podcasts if you have not listened to them yet. I will have links to Unmistakably Star Wars, these specific podcasts, but really you should just go and subscribe to the podcast. Go follow them on social media. Go follow all of the links in the description box below. But I thought I could react. Okay, so the first podcast that I was a part of, it's called Get to Know Ashley Wilson, and it's when Devin Cleffer was interviewing me and getting to know a little background about my Star Wars story.
Hey, welcome to this really special episode of Unmistakably Star Wars, where we're actually getting to sit down with Ashley Wilson, who is the newest member of the USW team. And this is great not only for you, our listeners, and our blog readers, but also for myself and Jeremy as well, because we have had Ashley as a student. She's now off into the next chapter of her life in college. But Ashley, first off, welcome to the team, and then welcome to this little interview thing that we're doing right now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me.
You had to, I won't make you rank everything from start to finish, but if you had to say, this is my favorite, these are my 2 favorite Star Wars films, what would they be?
I'd probably have to say Episode 5 and Episode 3.
What is it about Episode 3?
Just because I'm going to be a psychology major, and you can really see a lot of different psychological aspects with Darth Vader. If he's going to choose one side completely, or what his thought process is going to be next.
Yeah, well said. I think he's an interesting character, and hopefully we see some of that depth that we've seen so far. Adam Driver's just knocked it out of the park, in my opinion, with his acting.
Yeah.
And the hair. And the leather pants. I mean, my goodness, what's not to like?
Okay.
Okay, I would have to say, I knew it that Devin was going to say that in this interview. I knew it because in several podcasts prior, he'd always go, "Oh yeah, and the hair and the leather pants," and I'm just like, why? Okay, Devin, why? I don't comprehend. Oh my gosh, I don't understand the fascination of his hair and his leather pants. Like, maybe Devin, maybe you can tweet me that and respond me with your answer.
I like that. Well, especially as a psychology major, my goodness, that's right up your alley. I think that you should start working your thesis and include Star Wars in that somehow. I think that would be fascinating. I'll read it.
I'm down for that.
Well, listen, actually, before we land the shuttle here.
The next one was an episode of Forced Discourse, which is, honestly, Forced Discourse is one of my favorite episodes of Unmistakably Star Wars, because they go into different books and discuss character studies, and these are my top favorite. Plus, they play my favorite Star Wars song in the intro, which is the Imperial March. That is my favorite Star Wars song. So, I mean, you talk about books, which I love, and you play the Imperial March, which it's just fantastic. But this one was my first real official podcast, because the other one was just a phone call. This one, I was actually at the studio with the microphones and all.
By myself, and I am joined by Devin.
Greetings, my tauntauns.
And for the kind of the first time,
Yeah.
Ashley.
It is.
Hello.
So we're going to be digging into a Star Wars story. And
Things that we discovered within the art of Solo book is that Dryden Voss was going to be a CGI character.
yeah.
And what are your feelings about that? Ashley, what's your feeling thinking that, Dryden Voss could have been the CGI character, but Paul Bettany came in and just did, in my opinion, a fantastic job? Do you think that we would have had a different feel for one of the primary villains in Solo had it been a CGI character?
Yeah, I would definitely say that you'd have a different... the look would be different.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have... Yeah, I would just have to say, the whole look would be different and kind of off, since everything's, so authentic and real, and to have that, it just kind of throw you for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't...
So, I probably shouldn't even be saying this right now, but even though I am a Star Wars fan, and even though I have a lot more knowledge than I did 2 years ago, there are still things I don't know. There's another thing. I'll possibly get to that in this thing. But there's one thing. There were two things that we were discussing in this podcast that I had no idea what we were talking about, or I didn't fully know all the information about. And, I do know a lot about Star Wars. But, again, since I'm still learning about things, I mean, they know far more than I do, and they know far more characters than I do, and all this type of stuff. So there's still, a lot of things that I'm still trying to figure out. So the Dryden Voss, I'm the type of person, I've always been this way. I'm this way with celebrities. If you say the name, some of them I know, but most of the time, if you say the name, half the time I won't know who you're talking about unless I see a picture. Since this was a new character that I had learned about through the Han Solo movie, I still wasn't 100% familiar with who he was. So when Devin said, oh yeah, this Dryden Voss, that they originally were going to have him be CGI, Ashley, what are your thoughts about that? I thought, I have no idea who we're talking about. Even though I know now.
That one stuck out with me, and I kind of held up. Was there a planet for both of you that, and Devin, I guess yours is
Vandor.
It's Vandor. Is that the one that stands out to you the most?
I think so, and I think it has a lot to do with what you were bringing out in it.
Yeah.
It's just such
The
stark
contrast.
comparison to the rest of the grittiness.
Yeah. Ashley, is there one for you that really jumps out that you're like, of the ones, there's Savareen where they end up. There is, of course, Minban, which I talked about. Vandor, Devin's
Okay, so before we started the podcast, we discussed a few things that we'd be talking about so we weren't repeating ourselves. And they were talking about planets and all that. And I will tell anyone this, and I said this several times on the podcast as well. They were talking about, what? I just lost my train of thought. We were discussing like different planets and pretty much everything in Solo. And they kept bringing up planets. I will tell anyone this, but planets are not my strong point in Star Wars. Like, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to figure out planets and all that, and I made it very clear to them that I did not understand the planets, and I also stated it in the podcast, so people wouldn't come at me, but I didn't understand what I was talking about. And then Jeremy, he said, Ashley, was there a planet that stood out to you? And thinking, I think I actually said that too. But that's all that I'm going to talk about from this podcast, because I want you guys to hear the whole thing. It's actually a really good discussion, and I don't actually talk 2 times. I talk several times and give my opinions about a few things, and it actually does get interesting. But that's all I'm going to play for you guys for that second episode, and that one is called The Force Discourse, the lore of Solo. So you should definitely go and check that out. Again, I'll have them all linked below. But before I end this video, I would have to say, see, I keep saying that phrase, even though I've been a member for the short time, I've already started stirring up trouble. And it's quite evident. It's only with Devin and I, because we tend to go back and forth with our sass. And there's actually a moment a few live streams ago that you will see that occurring. So I'm just going to play this little scene for you guys.
Oh wait, we're getting direct tweets now, rather direct texts from good friend of the pod and newcomer to USW, Ashley Wilson, and she wants to know, Ashley, I adore you. Why don't you talk about country music while you stall? Carl and I think it's a great idea.
I listen to country music all the way over.
Well, let me allow me to, Ashley, this is for you. Let me talk about country music. For those out there, my answer will answer your question,
okay.
Bex. For those out there that are perhaps in the agnostic or atheist mode of spiritual beliefs, convince me I'm wrong. Country music is proof that there's evil in the world and the devil does indeed exist. Ashley, there you go. I'm waiting for your text response right now.
I'm arguing for God and
Yes.
Satan because of country music.
But who are you?
Yeah,
Who
go
are
ahead.
you basing this off of?
What do you mean?
Well, which country artists have you listened to?
The umbrella of country music. Okay, I'll take Johnny Cash back. I'll just keep Johnny.
What about Waylon? What about Willie
I mean,
Nelson?
just the good old boys.
What about?
Yeah, I threw you off with the Dukes of Hazzard thing, didn't I? I went. Listen, I was once trying
is this
to.
new country umbrella or is this?
Oh,
country,
see,
country,
new,
country?
old Walmart, Kmart. It's all the same, Bex.
No, it is not.
But here's the
Conway
deal.
Twitty is not in this record.
Conway Twitty. Wow. Okay, so we're going for the cast of Hee Haw now. That's awesome. Bring in the Mandrell sisters. So once a long time ago.
A long time ago.
In this galaxy.
Okay.
Far,
far away. Or
yeah, I was
by?
trying to impress a young lady who happened to be from Paris and was in love with all things American. Her favorite holiday was Thanksgiving. Whatever. Okay. Again, I'm not judging.
Okay.
But I in order to impress this young lady, I took her to a Toby Keith concert.
Oh.
Right. Okay. So we were in the lawn section. We were right next to the 3-story inflatable Jack Daniels bottle in the lawn section. And I will say this, that the entertainment for me was watching the people around me, not so much the concert itself per se. It was a fascinating study of sociology, psychology, and a lot of other ologies. Yes, Ashley, to clarify, I've listened to the song. It's all part of my shtick, Ashley. You understand. I love country music as much as I love C-3PO, Ashley. And that is from the bottom of my heart. That is from the bottom.
What song did she have you listen to?
It was something by somebody.
Gotta give me more than that.
I did it as a favor to one of my favorite students and for Carl. And it was a moving song. Emotionally stirring song.
So it's like half of what country music is.
Emotionally stirring?
But
this wouldn't stir the right emotions.
Or
it talked about
like,
troops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was,
it
wasn't quite Lee Greenwood level, but it was good. See?
Okay.
See? Oh, and Keith Urban. Now I'm getting a bad time because I compared country to C-3PO. Well, Ashley, I'll tell you what. For $2 a month on Patreon, I will say that I love country music at the end of every podcast.
He's cheap.
Wow. Who would argue that? All right. Well, we've got Philadelphia back on the line, so here we go. We're counting it down in 3, 2.
But yeah, that's a huge announcement. I am now a part of Unmistakably Star Wars, and it's such an honor, and so far it's been a lot of fun, and it's fun to actually have people to talk to about Star Wars now, which is really nice. And never thought I'd be a part of this podcast, but again, it's such an honor. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked the announcement. Definitely go and check out Unmistakably Star Wars. Link below the podcast I'm a part of, along with all the other podcasts. So you definitely should go and check all those out, because Unmistakably Star Wars is definitely amazing. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go and check it out. But that's it for today's video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.